Hi, I'm Dave Annell. Welcome to the 7th episode of Setting the Record Straight. A particular welcome to you if you found your way here via the link in Peter Culver's latest Lost Cousins newsletter. And if you're not familiar with Lost Cousins, you should be. I'll pop a link to the website in the comments below. Today, I want to walk you through a problem that I solved a few days ago, thanks to the wonderful FamilySearch website. FamilySearch is the genealogical website of the Church of Latter-day Saints, and it's home to millions of historical records. And best of all, unlike the other big players in the field, it's completely free to use. The case I was working on begins with the marriage in 1746 of Richard Forrester and Charlotta Bringlow. And here we can see the marriage. It took place on the 17th of August 1746 at the City of London Parish Church of St Gregory by St Paul. And the entry says Richard Forrester of St Anne, Blackfriars, bachelor, and Charlotta Bringlow of the same widow. We also knew from other records that Charlotta was the sister of a man called Hezekiah Fleming, but no record of the marriage of Charlotta to anyone called Bringlow or anything similar could be found. I'd also failed to find a promising record of the death, burial, or will of a Mr. Bringlow in the few years prior to 1746. I'd been focusing my search in two main areas. Firstly, the records of the Prerogative Court of Canterbury. What I knew about the social status of the family strongly suggested that this is where Mr. Bringlow's will, if there was one, would have been proved, but I failed to find anything here. And secondly, I was looking at the records from the county of Norfolk, where the name of Bringlow appears to be most common. And again, though, my searches in the Norfolk Record Office catalogue were unsuccessful. Although the PCC wills are all indexed and easily accessible online, the equivalent administrations have not been digitised. Indexes to almost all PCC admons can be found online in one form or another, but there's a gap. Records for the years 1701 to 1749 have been indexed by the Friends of the National Archives, and printouts and microfiche are available in various places, but the index has not been made available online. However, the original manuscript calendars or indexes to PCC admons are available through FamilySearch, although only at LDS family history centres or affiliate libraries. And while I was at the Watford Family History Centre a couple of days ago, I was able to have a look at the calendars, and after a short search, I found this entry here for Edward Bringlow of Bath, and it just tells me that the administration was granted in February 1746, which is actually 1745 to 46. So I could then look in for the relevant entry in the PCC Administration Act books, which are also available through FamilySearch in the same way. And I was very easily able to find this entry. And it says, Edward Bringlow, on the 7th day administration of the goods and chattels and credits of Edward Bringlow, late of the city of Bath, but belonging to the regiment of foot under the command of the Honourable Colonel Francis Ligonier, deceased, was granted to Charlotta Bringlow, widow, the relict of the said dead deceased, being first sworn duly to administer. So this was very clearly the entry I was looking for. So there are a couple of lessons to take away from this. Firstly, the FamilySearch website is a treasure trove. Ignore it at your peril. You'll probably have to go to an LDS Family History Centre to get the most out of it, but there's probably one not too far away from you. I'll put a link in the comments to help you find your nearest one. Secondly, I always say that you don't necessarily need to find an actual record of someone's birth in order to find out who their parents were. What you really want is evidence of their birth. And similarly, as we've seen in this case, you don't always need to find a record of a marriage to work out who somebody married. What you need is evidence of the marriage, and here we now know that Charlotta had been married to Edward Bringlow, and as he was evidently a soldier, the likelihood is that they married somewhere a long way from home. We may eventually find a record of the marriage, and we should certainly continue to search for one, but the brick wall has been knocked down, and we've now got a number of new leads to follow up on. Thanks for listening to this episode of Setting the Record Straight. I'll be back with more soon.